Jagannath and Tanu Gulta joins in for a quick chat on what he's making in this market. Jagan, good morning. Great having you with us here in the studios. I'm going to start by asking you what you make of BPCL. Some results came out yesterday. The market seems to be speculating that there will be, diesel price deregulation, etc. Is that going to happen?
Very sensitive subject. I mean, it will be great because in the past, the government has literally treated be it BPCL or HPCL, all these companies as if like their own subsidiaries, and the pricing. I mean, you can do everything if it is 100% subsidiary of your of government. But when the outside shareholders are there, then it's the subject becomes all the more sensitive because people are here to make money. So, and whenever there is a regulated sector, there is always an element of uncertainty associated with this. Nevertheless, I mean. So if that happens, definitely good. I think definitely sooner or later we are slowly moving towards that. And even at the time of petrol and whatever that deregulation happened, definitely we have seen.
But it's going to get harder because oil prices are already at about 88 or 87, 88 odd dollars a barrel. So for them to deregulate prices now would mean giving away or rather putting in more money from the government's coffers, which it might not happen. At $50, $60 it was still possible. At $88, $90 it gets a lot harder.
You see, this oil price movement nobody has control. That's an international commodity. And then going forward, probably all the indications are that we are looking at the 3-digit figure. So it's just that we have to accept that fact and move on, and because regulations cannot happen on the basis of the oil price movements per se, to speak.
But optically they look easier when oil is at $50, $60.
All the life looks easier, right? And be it for markets, be it for government, be it for everybody. So, but we have to accept that fact that $100 is here to stay.
So would you bet there would be diesel deregulation soon?
While it is difficult, but of late, if you see, the government has been taking some bold moves, no doubt about it. Not only here in overall policy making also. So, and if not now, I think then if the full majority when they have, and then when the time to take some tough, bold decisions, I think if anything can happen, I think the time is now. I think overall, if you see government, be it 3G spectrum, not 2G, I'm saying 3G spectrum, and then even PSU divestment. Everything even they are achieving even more than their targets. I think probably this time there can be a revision of fiscal deficit downwards also in the pre-budget announcement, or even at the time of budget, maybe from 5.5% to maybe 5.2% or something of that sort. Our indications itself saying that PSU divestment program itself this year maybe something like at least 50,000 crores can be achieved if ONGC sale can also be completed in the beginning of the next fiscal. So overall, if you see, the government is taking some tough, bold decisions which have been waiting for almost a decade. I mean, like something of that sort.
I know, but it's got relatively easier to do PSU divestment. When it comes to diesel deregulation, that's a whole different story. And right now they seem to have their hands full, politically speaking. But Jagan, what are you making of this week? I mean, it's been a totally listless week. We can all just pack our bags and go home.
Yeah, I mean, the week has been as boring as it can get, but I think the market has hit that psychological barrier of all-time high, close to that. But all the technical indicators are indicating that probably once that is taken off, the rally can be quite strong, and the traders are still believing in that fact. I think still the bullish tones in the market are appearing to be little more than the bearish voices. I think that probably indicates the overall mood in the market.
So what would you do in this market?
One is, if you are, I think for value investing, I think this is not the time to be. But for a trader, enjoy the party and enjoy the ride, and be long side. Avoid shorts as far as possible, and because short squeezes can be quite painful at times. And be on the long side and maintain that kind of stand. And there are stock-specific movements are happening. One day, be it Jet Airways or be it some stock-specific action is still ongoing. But definitely, as you said, overall theme is very, very boring.
Okay, and so it makes the job also kind of more fun, but also more tricky. So, even from a trading perspective right now, where's your positive orientation? Where would you get in?
Yeah, so from the trading point of view, one more, before coming to that, one more macro point that is coming up is this G20 meeting that is happening. I think that can be one more trigger point that is waiting to happen, because Chinese yuan revaluation, that entire world is literally putting the pressure on the China. I mean, China being China, they could able to resist that pressure and postponing that decision. But I think that can be one major decision that market is waiting. And if the dollar index, which is the whole heart, I believe, is for the entire whatever is happening in the equity markets as of now. If the dollar index gets weaker, be it for $600 billion stimulus package or whatever reason, definitely there can be a sense that more money can come into the markets. And being a banking bull market, I believe still the traders are still bullish on banking, despite the reason that SBI results may not be up to the mark and some provisioning pressures are there. So I think banking, automobiles still continue to be the theme of the traders.
So China, can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah. Two things. I mean, one is as of now, to summarize, Chinese currency is pegged to the dollar. So 6.6 is the currently the exchange rate that is ongoing. Because of which they are getting the export advantage, and then so they are at a much competitive advantage. If you see the September-October trade surplus numbers, they have made $27 billion of trade surplus. I think second highest in the history of China. And whereas at the same time, the same month, US had a $45 billion of trade deficit. So almost literally the US money is going into China. No other way of putting it. It's as simple as that. And so naturally now G20 meeting is going on, and then because of the last year's pressure, China has relaxed a little bit the peg combination, but they have not done it much in a serious way. Now Obama in this G20 meeting, they are trying to put the pressure, but it is unlikely that China will surrender to that pressure. But there is a chance that China may release little bit ground, meaning thereby it can help the Indian exporters, because in the export market, wherever there is a...
But then it will hurt Indian importers.
Indian importers, yes. And of late, this is one more equation that is happening. That's why India from the political point of view, is maintaining a neutral stand, not taking any of the stands. But from the Indian exporters point of view, it can be benefit, because your export become more competitive, so to speak. And for the US, they are trying to weaken their currency as far as possible by giving the more stimulus package, and so that US as a dollar will become, so to speak, more and more weaker, and their exports become more competitive. But definitely we are reaching a point where world is accepting US dollar and trading in US dollar, knowing fully well that it is about to crash.
But then it might not happen for a long time. So that's
yeah. One has to believe in that, and because you see, I mean, many of the theories here that imperial collapses can happen suddenly also. So, for example, many of the Niall Ferguson, or many of the Harvard professors, and many of the history research people, and they are saying last time when it happened, and Britain's imperial collapse and taken over by US, probably they are saying we are talking about something historic times now. I mean, of course, it can take forever, but nevertheless, I think maybe we are at such point.
As Manvi, they say, there's an old saying: how do countries go bankrupt? First they go bankrupt gradually, and then suddenly. So,
I think maybe we are in that first stage now.
Are there,
in US.
I'm going to focus on the here and now. Are there any immediate situations, special situations in the market, anything interesting that you think deserves mention?
Yeah, if as of now, immediately, so to speak, Kale Consultants that open offer, that is one ongoing, because in Kale Consultants they have increased the open offer size as well. Earlier they come out with a 20% open offer, then they increased it to 37% size. That increases the acceptance ratio suddenly. The stock has seen a huge rally, and now it is just going on sideways. And Binani Industries that we discussed is still going strong, and when we discussed again second time, that was at 200, now at 240 or so, and even that story is going very strong. I think Binani Cement delisting has brought the Binani Industries into limelight. And thirdly, Nirma, even though their delisting announcement came, but still the market is not believing that Nirma promoters will go all out. That's why the share price, even though it has shown some enthusiasm, went to 250, 260, has corrected back to 230, 220. And if you remember, we were making the same point, very difficult that for delisting to go through, because the public shareholding is quite huge. And in other delistings, some from foreign company, MNC company delistings are also waiting to happen. Only trick here is it is very difficult for them to complete this delistings, because public shareholding is so huge, and the delisting regulations in India are fairly tough from the global view standards.
What about Piramal Healthcare, Jagan?
Piramal Healthcare, I think the buyback program that is announced, I think has has actually sort of disappointed the market in the sense the price offered is too small. And secondly, it is not an open market purchase. It is a tender offer, so to speak. There is a very, very less chance for that buyback to find many of the givers. I think people may say it's okay. I mean, we don't want to give our shares. I think most likely the Piramal has to put together act and then has to do some more announcements so that to bring back the confidence of the investors. Otherwise, companies sitting on 16,000 crores of cash, they have to do something now.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Thanks so much, Jagan, for coming in. Appreciate your time, thoughts as always. Good to get those across.